Welcome everyone to Dragon Quest FM, where we talk about and obsess over Dragon Quest. I'm Austin,
I'm BJ.
and this week is our annual Dragon Quest Day predictions, and which usually ends up becoming more just like wishful thinking or like
Yeah,
dreams.
it's it's
Um,
it's our dreamer day. It's the one day we get to be optimistic on here,
yeah,
and
I mean
instead
that's the
of
thing.
hitting the bingo card.
If you're gonna dream big, you might as well dream big in anticipation of Dragon
Yeah.
Quest Day. So, for those of you listening, Dragon Quest Day is coming up in about 2 weeks. It'll be May 27th. For anybody that doesn't know that already, May 27th. We're actually maybe going to be doing our next live episode later that day.
Maybe
We're
if
not
we
going to
could
be doing,
figure it, get the tech and schedule worked out. But yeah, I'm hoping so.
yeah, we'll do an announcement closer to time before that, but we will not be doing a live one like while it's going on
During.
because that's going to be really early. Yeah, but maybe later in the day. We had such a blast doing the
Mm,
live episode like a month ago that this
yeah.
one kind of seemed like um, if you're going to do a live episode, why not do a live episode on Dragon
Why not
Quest
do
Day?
it that? Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll be
you dream
posting
big.
about that ahead of time so that we can make sure that you have enough time to get into the chat and things like that. So when we say live episode, we mean streaming it and interacting with y'all. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun. The 27th, we'll let you know about times and I was going to say times and dates, but on times because it's still DQ day.
Yeah, and so just want everybody to kind of keep an eye out, keep their ear to the ground, whatever expression you prefer for that, because we're hoping to do that
Yep.
for DQ Day this year. Um, Also, want to just go ahead and kick off things with this episode by saying that we've got a new thing that we're doing
It's a
every
new
single
thing.
week. We're calling it DQFM Side Quest for now,
Yep.
because essentially, for those of you who were around back in 2020, whenever there was Austin's daily quarantine cast,
Yep.
that was a lot of fun. People seemed to respond well to it. And it's been one of those things that repeatedly since then people have brought up. And it's just obviously not really viable for us to do daily
Daily at this
minisodes.
point.
Yeah. But also I think we've run out of things to talk about. So instead, we have DQFM side quests where each week, on alternating weeks, BJ and I are doing solo minisodes.
Yep.
So, for example, this week's is live already. It's going to happen every Monday. So this Monday's was me talking nonsense about Xenoblade Chronicles X because I've been wanting to talk about it, and we just keep not
Right.
being able to fit it into this podcast. So, seemed like a good time to just ramble about that for a bit. And then in just a few days from this episode going live, BJ will have his first solo mini. So, do you know what you're
Yep.
talking about
Where
yet?
I'm going to be probably rambling about Pathfinder and World of Warcraft is those are the big things that have been taking my attention lately, and I have things to say. So again, it's where we can't fit things on this podcast. We will do it over on Patreon on our side quests. I'm not sure if you had mentioned earlier that it is on when we say it's a side quest like the mini-sodes before that these are going to be on Patreon as well for paid subscribers. So we want to start having more like that. So it'll be a lot of
Yeah.
fun, we hope. You can go check that out. Like you said, right now his is up and mine will be up in 2 days if you're listening to this on release day. So we're doing that every Monday and hopefully you'll get something out of it. Hopefully you'll enjoy those because that kind of thing is fun for us to create. But like you said, we we don't have time to do daily episodes at this point, but weekly, absolutely, and
What's the URL?
bi-weekly with patreon.com/dragonquestfm.
There we go. I was like, I think that's it, but I didn't want to say it because I was like, you do that. You pretty much are the one
Every
that say that
time,
every
yeah.
week. Yeah. And so I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if that's accurate. So I was just gonna let you do it. But yeah, and it is to our like paid Patreon subscribers only. It's exclusive to them. We not to exclude anybody, but we just wanted to do something nice for our patrons because you guys have supported us for a long time, and we really love our Patreon community. So we just wanted to do something like that for y'all. That being said, if you would like to join our Patreon community, the more the merrier. We'd love to have you.
And I'd mentioned a long time ago and finally did it when Austin reminded me because I have no memory of anything ever. I have put up on Patreon for paid members different kinds of TTRPG work that I've done. A lot of my 5e and Dragonbane titles are now on the Patreon shop there. And if you're a member of different tiers, you'll be able to download those for free. So it'll be some of my best sellers, like now that's what I call necromancy, and the into Castle Duckenstein was a lot of fun at Halloween, but stuff like that. And I have stuff for every tier. It's a lot of content for subscribers, so we're really wanting to thank you guys and really boost the Patreon and get more stuff out there to make you want to be able to subscribe and support the podcast, because we really could not be doing this without you guys. So thank you so very much in advance for going to patreon.com/DragonQuestFM and becoming part of the Patreon community.
We should have done a shameless self-promotion before all of this. It went longer than I expected it to.
It
I
did.
thought I thought this was gonna be like a 20-minute, 20-second bit, but it ended up being a whole thing. But anyway, DQ day predictions. All right. So let's get the obvious one out of the way. We're for sure getting information on DQ 1 and 2 remake.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
that's I only have two things that I'm fairly certain of this year, and one of them is that we're going to get DQ 1 and 2 remake information. We're going to find out whether or not it's a Switch 2 port, as well as Switch 1, how they're going to handle it, and any kind of, I assume we're going to get any kind of extra content that they're including, like the mystery character from the Nintendo Direct that is definitely the Princess of Canon. Uh, the find out for sure about that. I bet.
I think, yeah, I think we'll probably get a release date with it. I think
Yeah,
that by the time it goes off, it'll be Switch 2 confirmation and we'll have a release date to go along with it. Um, I, historically, at least lately, these have always released like November, December,
hmm
for the year. So that's kind of where I expect this one will be. Like I'm expecting this to be another kind of like
yep,
holiday 2025 kind of release, which is honestly perfect for me. I've very much enjoyed that about Dragon Quest lately, about
right.
having, DQ Treasures and then DQ Monsters, The Dark Prince, and then Dragon Quest
DQ 3.
3 remake. Yeah, where it's just been really nice to have that kind of like um I think I got a package. My dogs are going crazy downstairs
Oh,
for some
I can't
reason.
hear them.
I don't know
So,
if you can hear it. Um, but it's been kind of nice, having that time of year, getting to kind of cozy up with a
hmm
Dragon Quest game has been really nice. And so I'm hoping that's the case this time because a I love having a game like that around the holidays because you
yeah,
tend to get off work a little bit more because of the holidays. It's like I'm home more. It's also like, it gets dark a little bit earlier, so you're indoors. Um, and it's just, I don't know. It's nice that time of year having a game that I can get really invested in.
yeah,
And so as much as excited as I am for DQ 1 and 2 remake, and would go crazy if they're like, surprise, it's July or surprise,
yeah,
it's August. Um, I hope they stick with kind of the more recent tradition of having it come out in the late
yeah.
part of the year.
It just seems like that's going to be the DQ release window. Kind of like Pokemon, you're always going to get it at the end of the year. I kind of feel that way about DQ now, that if it's not in that something is up. That there's a corporate reason for it, that they're being pushed to release it early for to get quarter numbers up or something like that. So I'm really hoping it's in November or December as well.
So what's your second one? You said you had a second one.
I expect that we're actually going to hear about DQ12. I honestly do
Five
believe we're going to see
five
that
years later,
5 years later. I think we're going to finally hear about DQ12
or
and
4 years
something.
later.
Wasn't it 2020 or was it
I think it's. I
2021?
think I'm pretty sure it's 2021 when it
But
was revealed.
oh, for some reason I was thinking it was during COVID, and
Right. I think it
but
was. Yeah.
yeah, it was one or the other, and it's been so long now. I think that we're due that. I know we say it all the time, but I genuinely think this time
It
that we're
was.
going to see something.
It was 2021 because it was for the 35th anniversary, right? And so, and
Okay.
next year will be the 40th. I'm fairly certain
Yeah.
that was the case. So, anyway, not to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but go on. So you're pretty
I think
positive
we're
now.
pretty positive. I think I'm pretty positive on we're going to see something that I'm going to be really disappointed and kind of worried about the state of the game if we don't see anything at all, even if it is a shot like they did of Elder Scrolls 6, where you see or yeah, 6 of seeing the world as it pans over and gives you a logo. I'm expecting more of that. Like, I expect something of DQ12 to actually be discussed. And I'm kind of hoping, like, the wishful thinking that it could be for the 40th anniversary next year, because we're
I
definitely not getting it this year. We haven't seen anything.
Yeah, see, that's my thing
I don't
is
think it's a shadow drop.
okay, two things about DQ12 really quickly. One, I've thought about this, and if they were to show DQ12, they would have like the perfect way to do it because we're getting 1+2 remake already, so they could
Right.
show 1+2, take away
And
the
then,
plus, merge the one and two, and then segue straight into 12. It'd be like
right.
perfect.
It would
Like
be
there's like I mean perfect is there's no other word for it.
beyond perfect.
But the only reason I'm kind of hesitant is because the 40th anniversary is next year.
Right.
And those kind of anniversaries like that is when we tend to see like the most stuff, like the big things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there's no signs yet that there's gonna be like a Heroes 3 or whatever to celebrate
Yeah.
the 40th. I mean, I would love that. There's no signs that there's like gonna be some kind of anniversary game release the way that there have been
Yeah.
for others. And so I'm like, part of me is like, okay, if it's not ready to go, why not just save it until the 40th?
Mm,
Because people are going to be hyped for the 40th already. You already have this game 1 and 2 remake that people know
yeah.
exists. So why not take the time to really highlight that and show it off? So like personally, I'm expecting like just a 1 and 2 remake, some updates to things, and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I could totally be wrong, but because it's the 40th next year, and because there's nothing like, I mean, right now we're kind of uncharted territory in the fact that
Yeah.
this is the fewest amount of Dragon Quest games in development that we've known about in a long time. Like they've done a
Yep.
pretty solid job of like announcing one after the other, and then now basically all the ones that they announced at like the 35th anniversary when they announced like all of those
Yep.
are either out now or about to come out. Um, that being said, there have been some years that we get a surprise, like
Right.
monsters and stuff like that. But I just am personally, especially if Yuji Horii busy and they're doing like a Chrono Trigger remake, it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like okay, well, if you're, I don't know.
You're
I'm
not exactly
I'm
sure of
expecting
it. You're
I'm
expecting silence.
I'm expecting a more muted DQ day
Yeah.
this year. Yeah, because it's the year right before the 40th.
Yeah.
If it was just, hey, it's been 4 years since we heard about DQ12, I'd be like,
Right.
heck yeah, it's time. But because the 40th is lined up next year, it's kind of like 40th anniversary for a game franchise. Like that's huge.
It's huge.
Like there's hardly any, gaming series
Yep.
that have have been at 40 or ever
Yeah.
make it to 40. So I think they're going to want to like save a lot of big stuff for that. And I think the 40th next year is going to be a huge blowout.
I hope so. I really hope next year, getting way ahead of ourselves, I'm really hoping that next year we get a whole slew of sequels to a lot of the spin-offs that we love, like Heroes 3, Builders 3, the
Rocket
Rocket
Slime
Slime
would
4,
be cool.
or even an English Switch 2 remaster of Rocket Slime 3. Anything like that would be really, really cool to me. But in terms of this year in 2025, I'm not sure if we're going to get a whole lot of anything. I've been wondering after the Chrono Trigger thing, when he
Mhm.
let slip at the interview about there potentially being a Chrono Trigger remake. I've
Mhm.
actually been curious if that's going to be talked about at DQ Day because of Toriyama.
Mm,
Because it's this is going to be the first Dragon Quest DQ12, and going to be because Toriyama did the art design for Chrono Trigger along with Yuji Horii working on it. That I'm very curious on if it's going to be touched on, because while it's not
yeah.
Dragon Quest, it is Dragon Quest adjacent, and we have the HD 2D stuff, and it's going to be HD 2D. I mean, there's no
I
way that a Chrono Trigger remake is going to be in 3D, fully
I
3D like they did with the Trails in the Sky remake.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that'll be like a Switch, a Nintendo Direct kind of
Right.
deal because you have to think that most of the biggest DQ3 remake news we got was always coming in with with Nintendo Directs.
Yeah, it
Square
was.
Enix seems to have abandoned their whole doing their Square Enix Directs things. They haven't done that in
Yeah.
a long time, so I don't think it'll be at something like that, but I expect that to be at one of these big events for the same reason that I expect DQ Day to be a little bit more muted this year.
Right.
It's like, okay, we love Dragon Quest. People listening to this podcast love Dragon Quest, but
Right. There's
still,
no way
oh,
that you don't or we don't.
compared to a Nintendo Direct, right? A DQ Day stream is very niche,
Right.
okay? And and it's not just Dragon Quest. I mean, any kind of event that's celebrating a game is going to be a little bit more niche than
Mm.
just something big like a Nintendo Direct because everybody on the planet watches a Nintendo Direct, right? The exception, I guess, is probably like GTA 6, where that like they show a second trailer of that and it gets like 600 million views in 3 days. And like there are exceptions to this rule, but generally you're going to want to show a game off like during a big event that gets the most eyes
Right.
on it because DQ fans are already going to buy this.
Yeah,
So
there's
you're
no way.
you're trying to appeal to people who maybe haven't tried a DQ game before and see it at the direct. They're like, oh, yeah, that looks awesome. I'll give it a shot. So that's kind of why I don't think like Chrono Trigger remake, I
Mm.
think that's going to be much down the line. Like I really don't expect much from this year.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I see
and
that with the Nintendo Direct, especially when because they did the same thing with DQ3 and DQ1 and 2 with the last Direct, that they're working on getting people who might not have that already pre-ordered and in
yeah,
their sites getting it. So I'm very I can see that. I'm still hoping, like, that's one of those hopes because I love Chrono Trigger so much. That's what I want because I want to know if it's true. Like, it's not even an I hope that it's on DQ Day because of Toriyama and Yuji Horii and all of this. No, I want to know if it's true because I love Chrono Trigger. So that's the
I
soonest I
mean,
think that we would find out for sure.
I think it's probably true. And
There've
if for
been
no
too many rumors for too long for
if
it
for
not
no
to
other
be.
if for no other reason that Square Enix has remade pretty much every RPG from that era.
Yeah,
And it's just kind of like they got to do something to keep that HD 2D train a rolling. So
yeah,
I think it's probably true, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to show it during a DQ Day presentation. And like I really do think that hopefully we'll get a release date for one and two. I'm
yeah.
sure, and that's the other thing too. Keep in mind this is like a Japanese stream, so there's going to be stuff for updates in DQ10 and updates for
Hmm.
DQ Tact, which still exists in Japan, and other mobile games that like have never made it over here or have
Right,
died over here, but are still ongoing over there. Like we'll see stuff like that, um, but okay, now it's for the fun stuff.
right.
The wish list, the big dreams.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, so it sounds like for you it's the sequel stuff. It's the
It's the
it's the
sequel
Builders
stuff.
3 and Heroes 3, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Where I don't expect it this year. I expect it more next year as part, like you said, as part of a big blowout, celebrating where the franchise came from and what's coming next. That's what I really expect out of a 40th anniversary. But
Mhm.
I don't see that this year, even though I want it. Like, I want Heroes 3, honestly, probably more than any of the others. And I haven't
Really,
even
really.
beaten the other
Wait,
two. Like, I
more
played
than
through 'em.
more than Builders 3?
More than
Wow.
Builders 3. Yeah, it's like I'm in
Wow.
the mood more to play a Heroes game. And I would love it to be Heroes 3. But yeah, the that one would be awesome. And also what I would really love is we
Hmm.
recently got a record player, and so I've never been able to buy vinyls or anything.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're laughing. I know. It's like it's I'm that guy, and but we don't get many records at all. Like we set it up, we listen to certain ones, and one of the ones that I really would love is a special Dragon Quest vinyl release of some kind. Like that's what I would like, a beautiful like collector's edition with pretty
Like they did,
discs and
kind of like they did for Dragon Slayer. Have you seen my Dragon Slayer vinyl?
I hadn't seen Dragon Slayer. I saw the I did
It's
not get to
that's
get
three
it
or 4 years
for
ago.
the Final Fantasy tour, the my Distant Worlds
Oh
where
yeah.
they did that, and I didn't get to purchase it. I was ridiculous and didn't buy the vinyl when I was at the concert. And they have
Mm.
multiple vinyls, don't get me wrong, but I want one of like big super nice ones. That's what I want from Dragon Quest is I
Mm.
want a big DQ vinyl that I can put on a shelf when I hang it right there. And I'm on video. I'm pointing at the empty spot behind me on the
Oh,
wall.
I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I First of all, I'm shocked that you said Heroes 3 over Builders 3.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I'd be happy with either. I love the Heroes games, and I've been jonesing for a Heroes 3 for a long time.
Right.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat you are. Like honestly, I'm craving that more than like a building game right now.
Yeah.
But who knows? In 5 years, when the game would actually release, I may be really craving a building game at that point.
It's true.
Um,
I even
if
went and started playing Hyrule Warriors on the 3DS the other night.
Which is
Just
much
to
more Musu than even
than even DQ Heroes.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
Heroes. Yeah, like
way more. I just wanted to smash things, and so that was one of the few that I had just on on tap, really, where it was
mhm.
installed and I was able to play it. So went through the first level or two of it just to do it, and it made me be like, man, I really want DQ Heroes 3. But yeah. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Oh, I was just gonna say my on my wish list is something that's never going to happen, but I have to mention it because months ago, okay, we did an episode that was about like Dragon Quest games that they haven't done before, like genres they haven't done
Uh
before,
huh.
but that we'd like to see, right?
Yeah.
And in that one, I talked about wanting to see a Dragon Quest baseball game, okay?
Yes.
For whatever reason, that has gotten more responses from people than hardly anything we have done in a very
Yeah.
long time. Okay. Multiple people, as soon as the episode was out, commented on it. It was really fun seeing people from like Europe and other countries weigh in on how popular
Yeah.
or not
Really.
popular baseball was. I noticed before we recorded this episode today, Fisa on Blue
Uh
Sky
huh.
had even commented on it saying that they would prefer a tennis one over
Yeah.
baseball. They live in Europe. I think is what they said. But anyway, so it keeps coming back up though, and so many people have brought it up to me over the past like 2 months that what has happened is I've accidentally got myself psyched up for a Dragon Quest baseball game
Oh.
that doesn't exist that I just kind of threw out into the ether like 2 months ago. But because multiple people have talked to me about it, and because two
Yeah.
months down the line people are still mentioning it, I really have. I've accidentally got myself excited about a game that doesn't exist. And
So hopefully
so
they'll talk about it.
so if we're dreaming big here and putting something on our wish list, I would really like that Dragon Quest baseball game to be real and for them to announce it at DQ Day.
The mention of the tennis game actually got me thinking of how awesome it would be to have a Mario Tennis style DQ tennis game, like
Mhm.
bouncing the slimes back and forth and like have different slimes as the tennis ball that give you different abilities and like have everybody else would have rackets, but like platypunks would be using their tail, like all sorts of stuff. Like I've thought this through. Like this is what I want. Like I'm kind of like you. I've been thinking about this ever since Leofessa mentioned it on Blue Sky, and I'm like, man, that would be so cool. Maybe they're actually going to do this. So
Maybe
I'm hoping.
maybe let's try to get the best of all worlds in here, and let's say that for the 40th anniversary next year, they in the like special release game that they
Yep.
do is a Mario Party style game because they have Fortune Street already, right?
They
But this
do,
is more
yeah.
like Mario Party style where they have mini games and some of it is tennis and some of it it's baseball and some of it's whatever other little fun
Like
things you can do.
theatrhythm type thing.
Yeah, and because it's a party game, they're able to bring in characters from all the other DQ games. So that's how it's kind of like a celebration of the 40th anniversary.
I say instead it's a DQ sports game where we get baseball, tennis, and then weird stuff like
And
bowling.
golf. Remember that they have the DQ golf line now, so they could make that a
Oh,
video game.
I did forget about that. I
And
forgot
those
all about that.
the Wii Sports Golf is really fun.
Yeah, it is. Like this is what you need to do, Square Enix. Like those executives who are listening to this right now. The community wants Dragon Quest sports games, and that is a phrase I never thought that I would say in genuine and actually mean it. But it's true.
A lot of people have mentioned this since that episode. Like
Like
I fully
yes,
expected I mentioned a Dragon Quest baseball game, any
like
kind of
that'd be
Dragon
so
Quest
much
sports
fun.
game, and like one person is like, woo! In the audience,
Yeah.
like that episode of Parks and Rec, like the one guy when they're
Yep.
debating that just stands up and is like, woo! I expected something like that to happen.
Mayonnaise.
Um, but then a lot of people have mentioned it since
Yeah,
then.
like
So
I'm glad that that took hold. That this is the kind of way that those games actually may get made. And I say that tongue in cheek, but it's like when there's rumblings in the community constantly and there that's how focus groups get done
when
is
yeah,
seeing.
when
So,
when five people talk about DQ baseball, it's kind of like, yeah, this would be a cool thing. When 500 talk about it, it's kind of like, oh, this is reasonable. When 500,000 talk about it, it's like you got to make it at that point, right?
right. So
So
the
I think that's the goal.
500,000 of you who are not listening to this
That's
need to get on that real quick.
that's the goal. If
Yep.
everybody listening tells five friends,
True.
then we'll
Just
be there in no time.
just get out there. Just tell everybody this is a viral tweet campaign,
Tell
except
five
not
friends.
tweeting, but it's on Blue Sky. Tell five friends that you want DQ
Grassroots.
tennis.
Yeah,
Grassroots.
that's
That's
the
the word I
term.
was looking for.
Yes.
Yep. So sign the petition for DQ Sports, and you
Yeah.
can do so by signing up at patreon.com/Dragon Quest FM. No, it's but that would be cool. That I totally get
But
why you would want that.
in terms of like games that like more realistically, I guess, exist or probably in development already, I'm kind of there with you. Heroes 3, Builders 3 would be
Yeah.
nice. I'm always up for another Rocket Slime game. I think that would be really cool. Um,
Do you
it's
think there's going to be a Treasures too? That's one that I've wondered about
I
whether or
don't
not they would
know
do a
because
sequel to Treasures.
I liked it, but it seemed like generally most people did not or felt kind
Yeah,
of meh about it. Where I don't think so. I think that it was a fun experiment, and I personally really liked it because I like those kind of collection games.
yeah,
I do agree that aspects of it felt a bit too mobily and gotcha.
yeah,
Um, where but also it's kind of like as much fun as I had, as many like hours as I sank into it and collecting it, like I haven't gone back to it, and it's not
yeah.
one that, and it's also not one that I've felt like the desire to replay the way that
Right,
like, you know, 3 years go by and I'm like, oh, I want to replay Heroes again, or
right.
you know, a year goes by and I'm like, you know what, I should replay DQ1 again, where
Yeah,
it's not something like that. That I just haven't felt that kind of compulsion.
yeah,
So even though I did really like it at the time, I guess maybe it did not resonate with me long
yeah.
term, where I wanted to go back to it.
I would love another an announcement for DQ Monsters 4. They have the engine already, and I would love for a Switch 2 version of a new Monsters game.
I
That
think
I would love it. It's too
I think
soon, I know,
yeah, we
but
might
that
get
would like
an
I would love to know about it. I would love for that to happen.
I could see them doing a Switch 2 like upgrade
I could
for
too.
monsters. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we had 20 years between 2 and 3.
Was it that long? I
It
guess
was
it was. I guess it
like
was because it
like
was Game
straight
Boy
up
Color.
like straight up Dragon
Like
Quest Monsters 2.
Yeah, like
Yeah, the
there
gap
were
between 2 and 3
there were the
because
Joker games, and there were GBA games like Caravan Heart and things like that. But 2 and 3, like mainline DQ Monsters games, yeah, it was. Wow, yeah, you're right. That was that long because I was thinking about the others and like the remake in Japan
it
of
was
Terra and Kobe.
yes 20 between 20 and 25 years between the
Man,
two. So
yeah,
I don't know how much I'd get my hopes up for a fourth entry right out the
yeah.
gate, but you never know because
You
I
never
think
know.
the
That would
third one
be.
I think did well. Like I think it
It's a
critically
great game.
and commercially, I think it did pretty well. So um, all that's good. But anyway, I know we're running low on time for today, but thank you guys for listening to this week's episode.
Yep.
Um, let us know your predictions, what you
Yeah.
predict, but also let us know like your dreams and hopes. If you even, I mean, I just said the DQ baseball game, so no matter what you
Right.
say, like nothing is too absurd. So, whatever, if you're listening, like Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're listening, watching to this, whatever, let us know what you think we're gonna get, but also just what you would love to see, because I like thinking about what we're going to get is always fun, but for me the most fun part of it is just dreaming big and like this is what
Yeah.
I want to see. Like I always like to read what people would like to see. um so definitely let us know. Also remember that we have started the DQFM minisodes, DQFM side quests. You can listen to those every Monday if you're a Patreon subscriber. Otherwise you can just let us still hear us talk
Hmm.
on here every single week. um and a quick shout out to all of our patrons because we really do appreciate you guys and are doing this for you as
For
a way to
you.
say thank you. Yeah. If you want to talk to us, we're at Twitter and Blue Sky at Dragon Quest FM. I am at Dragon Quaston at both of those places.
And just to go back on the minisodes, we mentioned earlier in the episode about the quarantine cast that he did. Those are still there as well. So if
They
you
are.
didn't get to listen to those 5 years ago when Austin was doing them daily, there is still an RSS feed of content that you may not have ever heard. So go check that out at patreon.com/DragonQuestFM. And if you'd like to talk to me, I am at bjkgames.com on Blue Sky and bjkgames on Twitter. That'll be all for us, and we'll talk to you on Monday, patrons, and next week for normal stuff.
Yep. Thanks,
All right,
everybody. Have a good
bye,
one.
all.
Bye.